Many years ago, when I was totally ignorant to all of the issues that we're talking about here today, when I was 16 years old, I went to a punk show, and someone got up on stage, and they talked about the horrors of the fur industry, about what the animals suffer so that we can wear a fur coat. At that time, I had never thought about these issues. I ate meat. I wore leather. I really couldn't care less. But something about the person, something about what they said, it spoke to me. And I thought about it for a little while, and I thought, yeah, that is wrong. So I went on protest. I showed up to that protest wearing leather shoes. I had probably eaten meat before I had come there, because I had never thought about how these issues are connected. But very, very quickly, it became apparent to me, this is about more than just the fur industry. This is about oppression. This is about subjugating a class to the will of the powerful. Namely, this is about challenging the mindset that humans are greater than animals. That animals exist not for their own reasons, but to serve us and our own selfish needs. When I made those connections, my whole life changed. I went vegan. I started getting involved in the animal rights movement. That was over a decade ago, and I haven't looked back, and I never will. Because once you see the reality, it becomes something you can't ignore anymore. Once you've seen the eyes of an animal that's about to be killed on a fur farm, in a slaughterhouse, at a vivisection lab, no matter what the reason, the look in their eyes is the same. It's a look of fear. It's a look of pain. And it's a look of longing to stay alive. A look of longing for freedom that so many of them, millions, billions, are denied every single year. Not in our history, not in our lifetime. Billions every single year. And statistics like that can be hard to wrap your head around. It can be really hard to try and visualize what it means for billions to die. But it's not hard to visualize one. Think about any animal that's touched your life. Think about what that animal meant to you. Think about the times you share. And then ask yourself, what if it were them on the slaughterhouse? What if it were them in the fur farm, the laboratory? What would you be willing to do to save them? And I don't have the answer for you. Whatever you are willing to do is up to you. But you should play to your strengths. There are weak points in this industry. The fur industry is one of them. And attacking a weak point is a good way to make inroads towards the whole. If education is more your style, talk about veganism to your friends, to your family, to people on the street, to anyone. Because when it all comes down to it, the first step anyone should take if they care about animal liberation is going vegan and stopping consuming animals. You're brave enough to take steps beyond what is socially acceptable, beyond what the laws that are in place to keep animals enslaved say. I applaud you. Go onto a fur farm. Cut the locks, open every single cage, and don't leave until every animal is free. Break into vivisection labs. Burn down fur stores. Whatever it is you want to do, you have my support. Because frankly, the laws of this land do not exist to protect life. The laws of this land exist to protect profit. That's right. To keep animals enslaved. And every single movement that has come up against unjust laws, it's had the elements of that movement that do what is legal, that educate the public, that stand here on the street protesting. It's had those movements that have stood on late in the street and engaged in civil disobedience to refuse the Underground Railroad. Today it's called the Animal Liberation Front. And I support them, and I'm proud to support them, and I'm not afraid to say it. Because for me, this is an epic. This is something that I can't turn my back on. And I have endured a good amount of things in my time as an activist, as many who are involved in this movement have. I've been beaten, I've been arrested,